Russia and Ukraine have both launched overnight attacks, with Russian officials reporting Ukrainian drone strikes forced a temporary suspension of all flights in all airports, serving Moscow and the country's second largest city, St. Petersburg. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials say a wave of Russian drone attacks have killed at least 2 people and damaged parts of the capital, Kyiv. Ukraine's Air Force says Moscow launched more than 300 drones and 7 missiles. President Volodymyr Zelensky has described it as one of the biggest Russian aerial attacks on Kyiv of the war so far. Officials say the southern port city of Odessa was also hit. Now, those attacks came after Russia and Ukraine completed the first stage of their latest prisoner swap. A deal had been postponed and then nearly fell apart. Young and badly wounded soldiers, though, are now among the first to return home. The exchange was one of the only points agreed by the two sides at talks in Istanbul earlier this month. DW's Max Sander sent this report from Ukraine.
She had to wait for this moment for 1.5 years. Victoria just got news that her son Dima is alive and is finally coming home.
Dimka, are you coming? Dimka, Dima. What a joy, what a blessing from God. Timoshka, it's over.
He was on the bus with these other prisoners of war, released from Russian captivity just a few hours ago. For her, the uncertainty has ended, while others can only hope. The families of those missing in action make up the largest group here by far. They're hoping the released POWs can give them clues to their loved one's fate.
The situation is that my son is missing. 3 boys disappeared. They went on a mission together and did not return.
His comrades communicate a little. The leadership, the company commander, has not been in touch since April 17th.
How are you coping with this?
Faith, hope, prayer. That's all that keeps us going. Believe me, medication doesn't help. We believe, we feel that they are alive.
But the chances are slim. The first group was exchanged with very little detail made public as to not endanger the ongoing negotiations. But from what we've been told, it's mainly very young men under the age of 25, and some of them in critical condition. The prisoner deal is fragile, those working on it told us, just like the condition of those who just came free.
Unfortunately, the International Red Cross have no access to Russian places of detention. We know, according to international data, that more than 95% of released Ukrainians from Russian captivity was under everyday tortures. So their health conditions are very poor.
These young men were among the few who made it out today. More are expected to follow over the coming days. Their ordeal, at last, is over. How are you feeling now?
I'm in shock.
Why? Tell me.
Because I made it home.
Are you happy?
Very, very. But I haven't seen my home yet.
For him, it's about putting his life back together, while the lives of others remain on hold.
And for more on this, let's speak to our correspondent, Mariel Müller, in Kyiv. First of all, tell us a little bit about what we know of the condition of these returned POWs.
Well, as you could see in Mac's report just there, they looked very pale, very thin and exhausted. Of course, also very happy to be reunited with their families. And the office that is in charge of the prisoner exchange said that they were in poor health condition because they lacked food and also medical treatment. And some of them had been in Russian captivity since the start of the full-scale invasion, so since 2022, more than 3 years.
Now, the prisoner exchanges are expected to continue over the next few days. President Zelensky has said it is a complicated process with many sensitive details. Do we have any indication of why this round of prisoner exchanges is appearing to be so difficult?
There's a lot of mistrust on both sides. Both sides have been accusing each other of delaying the process. Russia said that Ukraine did not show up to an agreed exchange point at the border, and that it had taken the bodies of over 1,000 Ukrainian soldiers there to be brought back to Ukraine. Ukraine says this is not true. Russia should stop playing dirty games, and that Russia did not stick to the agreed preconditions and did not, for example, hand over a list of names of those soldiers, of the bodies of these soldiers that were supposed to be repatriated. And Claire, just a scene of that stuck with me from yesterday's prisoner swap that I want to share with you. There was a woman that talked with reporters at the scene, Tatiana Litvin, and she said, even if the war might end at some point, it will never end for those who have missing family members. And she is missing a father and a cousin, and she was hoping that they would be among the other released prisoners on this bus, but they weren't. And she hoped that maybe some of the other prisoners would know some details about them. But yeah, she insisted, saying, this will never end for us until they come home.
That's such an important point. It must have been such a devastating moment for her personally. Of course, in the background of all this, we also have Russian attacks continuing. In fact, seemingly Moscow stepping up bombardments now from one night to the next. Could you just give us an update of what the latest there is?
Yeah, just last night there was another massive missile and drone attack, focusing especially on Kyiv and also the southern port city of Odessa. At least one person was killed and several injured. We were in the shelter from more around 2 a.m. until 5 a.m. We heard explosion after explosion after explosion. The air defense shooting down drones, and very close also to this location. Actually, this morning we saw smoke rise in different districts. Russia had hit around 6 or 7 districts of Kyiv's 10 districts, and it's just the latest in a string of record-breaking aerial assaults over the past days that we've seen here. Russia had for months launched attacks using maybe a maximum of 300 drones, but since the beginning of June it is using well over 470. 2 days ago there was probably the attack with most drones used, and also missiles, 479. Most of them were intercepted by Ukrainian air defense. But still, it's a worrying development for many here. And they are worried what could happen in the next few days. Russian officials have confirmed and have said that this is a retaliation to Ukraine's strikes on Russian airfields deep inside the country, in which it managed to damage at least 20 strategic warplanes.
Well, Mariel, take care, and thank you so much, as always, for your reporting. It's Mariel Müller in Kyiv.